3rd Oahu District. And remember, voters, wherever you live, you can vote for one of these 3 people on November 8th, Election Day. And the 3 candidates are Debbie Hartman, Lila Assurance, and Paul Knapp. Now, let me put a question to each of you in turn that I put to the other 8, 7, whatever, 10. Viewers would like to know your qualifications for running for office, a little bit of your background, starting with you, Ms. Hartman.
I served in the Hawaii State PTA. I presently serve as a vice president on the state board, but before my appointment to the Board of Education, I was the legislative chair, and I was responsible for the legislative actions here and in Washington, D.C., and I did that for 5 years. I also served for 2 years as the chair of the Windward School Advisory Council, which is an advisory group to the Board of Education, and I bring that kind of background, which is why I believe the governor appointed me when the position became available.
Okay, Ms. Assurance.
I am an educator, I'm a parent, and I'm a citizen, and I'm really proud of being all 3. I feel that I can come to the board and listen to the parents, understanding their problems, and that I can be part of the solution to those problems.
Okay, and Mr. Knapp.
Hi. Well, I'm an audiovisual technician by trade. I've worked in private schools. I've worked for the Army for a while. I taught a class in audiovisual instruction, and I currently work for the DOE. I've worked with teachers and students. I was a member of the Kaneohe Neighborhood Board for a while, for 2 years.
Okay, and again, a question from a viewer that I put to the other 10 candidates. The viewers would like to know your personal experience with the public school system. For example, do you have any children in it? Did you have any children in it? And were you in it?
Well, I was raised in Detroit, Michigan. I've been in Hawaii for 20 years. I went to school, public school in Detroit. All 3 of my kids went to public schools here in Hawaii.
3 children in the public schools?
They're currently on the mainland.
Okay, Ms. Assurance.
Yes, I have 4 children that have come through the Hawaii school systems, and very good students. I am a private school administrator and teacher, though, but I have worked in public school here and in the Marshall Islands, and I've also spent 2 years in Australia in schools. So I really feel like our school system is very good.
Okay, and finally, Ms. Hartman.
I have 2 children, and I'm guardian to 2 children. All 4 have been in the public school. 2 graduated June of '88 from Kahuku High School. Both are in college now. I have one in the 7th grade at Kahuku Intermediate and one in the 10th grade at Kahuku High School. And I've been very active in the public school system since we arrived. My husband and I are both public school. My husband's a graduate of Kailua and University of Hawaii.
Okay. Ms. Assurance, going on to another question. What one specific problem or deficiency in the public school system will you address if elected?
I feel that if we could stress excellency in the school system so that not only do the children feel good about themselves, but they know that they're going to be well prepared. And I believe that discipline would be less problem. I believe that learning would be less of a problem because the children would be excited about learning if they know that they were coming out in an excellent position.
Okay, Ms. Hartman, same question. Specific problem or deficiency in the system?
I continue to work on some of the areas that I have been, specifically communication, getting everybody involved, supporting the parent community networking centers and getting parents involved in every aspect of education and partnershiping. Also facilities, absolutely a necessary component that we need to be dealing with. Class size, I'll continue to work and support the lowering of the class sizes in the primary grades as well as in the core grades in the secondary education.
Finally, Mr. Knapp.
Yes, I think one thing that, I mean, there's so many areas that are problems, but
just one.
One thing is our country lags behind in the area of foreign language instruction. I think we need to start as early as possible, even the 1st, 2nd grade, right on up. I'd like to see everyone graduate from high school knowing a 2nd language, along with English, of course.
Okay, we've gotten quite a few questions, by the way, about foreign language. Where do you think, and I'll ask each of you in turn, but we'll start with you, Mr. Knapp, what changes, if any, should be made in foreign language education in the public school system? Should we start it early, and if so, how early?
I think you could start it in kindergarten, but certainly you should start it as early as possible, because when a person is learning language, I think they pick it up better when they're young, and then they'll be able to use it the rest of their life. I think they'll remember it better.
Well, just follow up, how should it be required throughout the 12 years of public school?
I think it should be required just as English is required.
Okay. Assurance.
Although I feel that foreign language does help a child in learning even English, I believe that they should have a junior high would be as soon as I would introduce it formally. But I believe that every teacher could give a conversational languages as they were capable of doing.
Fine. And Ms. Hartman?
I think the foreign language has its place in our schools from elementary through high school, but I think we have to be careful not to mandate it. That in some schools they are able to deal with a foreign language program and they should be made available, but in other schools we have to deal with English first, and we have to ensure that that English is well taught and able to be used for our verbal capabilities. And so I would like to see that it remain open to the school to decide whether or not for that school they should have a foreign language program.
Okay. Mr. Knapp, a viewer would like to know, and this question will affect people whether they have children in school or not. Would you favor changing public school hours to help with the traffic problem? And if so, how?
I think that's something that we could look into. They tried it with downtown workers, the state workers. It seemed to help the traffic. How to implement it, I think you would stagger. You need to stagger the starting times, maybe. I think.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't mean to cut you off. If you have more to say, you're finished. All right, Ms. Sharon.
I believe that the traffic problem is just here, and that we need to learn to live with it. We need to know that we're going to have to give a little more time to get over the mountain if we're going. We went to the University of Hawaii. My sons both went to the university, and we just left earlier. They had early classes. There are staggered times in all of the public colleges, so it's just a matter of living with it.
Okay, and finally, Ms. Horton.
There is a school on the neighbor island who indeed did that. They changed their hours to help with the traffic problem, and it did bring some benefit. I think we have to, again, allow that autonomy of the school and within the community. If that is something that's needed, then we need to be able to allow that kind of decision-making at the school level.
Okay. Ms. Sherance, another viewer question. Can you think of, or share with us, one decision made by the Board of Education in the last few years that you disagreed with?
I guess I would have to say AIDS education.
And why?
Because I feel it's too explicit. I believe that it should not be in all of the grade levels. I believe that we should have health insurance.
Excuse me. Let me stop you there. Is it at all the grade levels?
Somewhat, it is.
I thought it was just in junior, wasn't it?
No, it's down in lower grades
high
than
school
that.
area.
It's in lower grades than that.
Ms. Hartman, your response to that same question.
To the question.
To the question. Let's pick up on her point of AIDS.
Do you want me to pick up on her point of AIDS?
If you'd like.
It is in the intermediate high school. They are right now formulating an elementary school program, which is not explicit as it is in the intermediate and high school. The 7th through 12th grade do have a program, but the third through 6th grade is being developed now, and the resource teachers are being trained in order to take it into the elementary school, but it's not there now.
And what do you think about it, very briefly?
I agree with it. I sat on the task force. I represented the parents on the task force. I also visited the schools and sat in and watched as the teachers taught, and I am pleased with it and feel that it is good. It is being refined and again, upgraded to have accurate information, and I support the AIDS program.
Ms. Sherance, I'll give you a chance to respond,
Okay.
please.
I just believe that these kind of questions should be between parents and their children and their own doctors. I do not believe it needs to be in school. sex education the same way. I believe that we should have health education so that the children know health problems and their body functioning and biology, but not sex or AIDS education.
Mr. Knapp, would your opinion be closer to Ms. Schurance or Ms. Hartman on this AIDS matter?
On AIDS, probably Ms. Hartman. I believe that it's such an important matter that the students need to be informed about it. I know that presently there is a AIDS instruction information program in the schools, and I know when they had one child in Hickam, I believe it was Hickam, that had AIDS, his entry into school was pretty smooth because of this information program. I believe the more information you have, the more easily you're able to make intelligent decisions on your life.
Yeah, we don't have very much time. Ms. Hartman, the business about the 2.0 average to participate in athletics, are you for or against it?
I'm absolutely for it, and I have had the opportunity to go around and talk to students about it, and the student council and teachers, and I have not found a parent, teacher, or student who objects to the requirement.
Ms. Schurance?
I'm for this too. I believe that education is first.
Okay, and finally, Mr. Knapp, we're almost out of time.
Okay, I'm for it, but I think there could be exceptions to it.
Okay, I'd like to thank the three of you and the other 10 who are here tonight. Hopefully viewers can make a more informed decision on November 8th as a result of watching this program. Leslie Wilcox will be here next week, and her guests will be the rest of the board candidates, those from the neighbor islands and those running at large here on Oahu. Thanks for watching. I'm Bart Frito. Good night.
Enjoy coverage of this week's events in our nation's capital. Washington Week in Review is coming up next on KHET.
The views expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views of the Hawaii Public Broadcasting Authority or the staff of this station. Questions or comments about the program may be addressed to News and Public Affairs Department, 2350 Dole Street, Honolulu, Hawaii, 96822.
Ideas is coming to you this fall. Join Dole Moyers as he talks with novelist Joseph Carler.
Hi, my name is Coach Adolph. I'm the minor twins coach at Holly Park. I just want to show you, we took it last year